You're tuning in to AfterBuzz TV's The Christmas 24/7 channel, keeping the spirit of Christmas 24/7. Give, forgive, be merry. Ho, ho, ho,
What would happen if we all tried to be like Santa and learned to give, as only he can give, of ourselves, our talents, our love, and our hearts? Maybe if we could all learn Santa's beautiful lesson, maybe there would finally be peace on earth and goodwill toward man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6 months of Christmas here on AfterBuzz TV's Christmas 24/7 network. It's a very royal episode.
It is.
We have the prince himself, Nick Hounslow, here in studio.
It's very exciting.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nick,
Starstruck.
cheerio, and thank you very much for being in studio here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We're a little bit underclassed today.
Yes.
We have a handsome British prince in studio.
Yeah.
And Erin and I are earnestly wearing Target onesies, if you haven't seen them. So
They
hopefully
look really good. I have
You
to
do
say.
look, I feel a little bit left out.
That's okay.
That's okay. We have something we might unveil later in the show
Okay.
if we want. But yeah, I think in the UK they say either common or posh, right? It's like a sliding scale.
Somewhat. I mean, that's sort of the old way of saying it, but
Yeah.
common or posh. People do so. I mean, you know, you have Posh Spice who isn't particularly posh.
That's
course.
true. Her and David are a little slide on the common scale, right? That's nice.
Yeah.
They provide equal opportunity. For,
Exactly.
Yeah,
We
I
try
love
to-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're always going to be outranked by royalty. So.
I know, and especially when we earnestly wear onesies on set. But I love it.
I do too.
I'm wearing a Buddy the Elf onesie. Erin, Mrs.
I'm
Claus.
Santa. You know what?
I feel
I'm
like
Santa.
you're like a rebellious punk Claus.
Yeah.
I like that.
You're like Santa, Mrs. Claus's daughter, who
Yeah,
like
exactly.
resents the North Pole.
Exactly. Like I don't want your life, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Nick, we're super happy to have you. Thanks for being here.
thank you.
As I mentioned at the top, you are kind of now officially in the pantheon of like striking leading men on television Christmas movies.
I guess I didn't have any idea what I had got myself into, really. Not really got myself into. I just had, you know, I went to these auditions and I kept going back and I got this role, and then I told some friends, and obviously all my friends over here are American, and they were like, "Shut up, are you kidding me? Oh my God, these movies are huge. We watch them all the time." And I'm like, "Are you really?" Like, because in England we literally have, I mean, Love Actually on repeat at Christmas, and I think that's about it. We might have that new one that just came out now. I don't know.
Oh, Last Christmas.
Yeah, that might be
Yeah.
our second movie to add to the TV schedule. But over here, it's this just world of Christmas movies. And when I was shooting up in Toronto, and it was just amazing. I mean, it was just so crazy. And I had no idea it was going to do so well that we would then get the second one.
Yeah.
And then the second one was #1 on the network right now, and it's blown me away.
Well, the Christmas tradition is more like panto, right? Is that
I
something?
guess we do have panto. Panto terrified me as a kid, and
Yeah.
it still terrifies me. It's the stuff of nightmares for me.
For our American listeners,
Yeah, I don't know what panto is.
I used to work with a bunch of Brits.
Okay.
And they explained panto to me, and it's kind of like a whole thing, right?
Pantomime is basically plays that happen at Christmas time, and there's always so let's say it was maybe Cinderella. You'll have one of the males will be dressed up as the old bag lady, and then the lead male is always a female. I don't know where this came from. I actually am not educated on how pantomime started, or pantos. But it's always this thing where the bad person's behind the good person, and all the audience are going, "He's behind you," and the person on stage is acting like they have no idea it's. I don't know why.
It's kind of like Shakespeare meets Rocky Horror
Kinda.
meets like RuPaul's
Wow.
Drag Race.
Means something.
Sounds
It's
great.
interactive in a way.
Yeah.
Kids love it. I would think I was the only kid that didn't like it.
Is it puppets?
There are puppets.
Okay, I
They
don't
can,
like
no,
puppets.
there can be puppets involved. Not always, but there can be. I don't
Yeah.
know why it. I don't
Puppets
know.
are scary.
Puppets are terrifying.
Yeah.
I remember watching a movie as a kid called The Puppet Master. It was an American movie. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that one. It was these puppets
think
came
so.
to life and started killing people with knives.
Yeah, and like Chuck.
So-
Chucky's
Chucky,
not a puppet.
yeah, no,
he's a doll.
Technically, but puppet-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid of like those dummies that talk like in Toy Story
Ooh,
4.
ventriloquist
Those are, yes,
dummies.
ventriloquist dummies
Yes.
are very scary.
Very.
Well-
I would say you have to watch a pantomime. If you've never seen one and
Okay.
you're in England, go watch one. Then you'll understand what I'm talking about. And I hope you don't have nightmares.
Well, we'll see. Well, Nick, we're super excited to have you. We're going to get into the whole culture of holiday TV movies. Our fans are huge. Our listeners are huge fans of this type of. So are we.
For sure.
Just like
Absolutely.
a good Put on a blanket, grab a cup of hot chocolate, watch it with your significant other on a couch. There's nothing like it. Before we do, though, we're just going to talk a little Christmas. We're getting closer, 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing right now to make sure that as we ramp up toward the big day, we're prepped, we're ready to go? Are you a big decorator, Christmas tree guy?
I normally try to go home at Christmas as I'm living here. So for me, the last 2 years, I've been really lazy and I've been like, I'm not putting a tree up because I'm leaving on the 19th. And what's the point? This year, I put it up the day after Halloween because I'm like, I'm going to get I missed it.
Yeah.
I really did miss it because my mum back home, it sounds obnoxious. We have about 10 trees and we don't, it's not because we live in a mansion or anything. We actually live in a very modest house. But my mum just likes a tree of various sizes in every room. And then each one has a color theme. Yeah, it's a lot. But it does look nice. So I was like, this year I'm going to have a tree. I'm going to put it up. And my roommate asked me, she was like, why are we putting it up the day after Halloween? I was like, because I'm going to enjoy Christmas in America before I fly back to England. So yeah, that's it is decorated. I have a wreath on the door. And the dog stocking is up as well.
I love that.
Over his bed.
Yes, the dog needs a stocking
He has his
too.
own stocking.
Well, post-Halloween is a safe bet on our show. We have the discussion often of when is it okay.
Okay.
And a lot of our fans, some people will say day after Thanksgiving, but we had a number of November 1st Christmas proponents.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're in good company here.
Okay, good.
When you go home, what are some of your family traditions for Christmas?
I mean, my dad always makes, because we lived in Germany growing up for a while, so he always makes Glühwein, which is basically mulled wine, just the German version of mulled wine. But my dad has quite a heavy hand with the ingredients.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Good.
You should definitely come to my house. It's fun.
If there's too much family, you need a heavy hand just because.
Exactly. I think that's why he
That's how
does
you
it.
enjoy it.
My mum has this. It's not really theory. She's tried and tested now. But the minute someone walks in our front door, they get offered a drink.
Nice.
And they have to take that drink. And she said it's the best way because then it sort of loosens everybody up and everyone relaxes, and it always then sort of placates fights and people just then just get warm and fuzzy. And Glühwein's an amazing way to do it. So that's a big tradition. I mean, he makes a huge pot to this Glühwein. Other traditions, as kids, we laid stuff out Christmas Eve, but we laid out a pillowcase that Santa would fill. I don't know why. You take one of your pillowcases off your bed and you put that on the sofa. So in the morning when you wake up, your pillowcase is just full of all of these boxes, and it's just so exciting.
That's cool. I've never heard of that.
It's really fun.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. It's not maybe my grandparents did it for my parents or something.
I love that. Can you give us the definitive explanation of Boxing Day? Because
so
only
actually,
the Commonwealth does this.
Right, yeah. So Boxing Day is the day after Christmas Day. Typically sales start, kind of like a Black Friday thing. But what it used to be back in the day was that, say, do you watch Downton Abbey?
Yeah.
Okay, so say Downton Abbey, they enjoy Christmas and they have a wonderful time and they all give presents. The people that work underneath the house on Boxing Day bring a box to Downton Abbey, for example, and then that's when the employers will put things in their boxes. So maybe, I don't know whether it's a bit of leftover ham or whether it's a real present, they just get the food scraps, or whether they actually get something nice. But it was when they brought boxes to wherever they were working, and that was when they got gifts.
Okay, so it's like an upstairs, downstairs.
Basically, it's when the downstairs got to get, they got their little presents.
I love that.
Yeah.
The rich kids don't want the new action figure; they can give it to the.
Yeah.
Okay, I never knew. Now we know.
Yeah.
Now you know.
We're learning so much today.
Erin, how about you? What are you doing to ramp up for the holidays?
So I'm living in a dorm right now, so I can't really. So I think just to make up for it, when I get home, I'm going home this week actually, but when I get home, I'm just going to go so hard to make up for all the time that I missed. I'm going to just bake and, decorate and do all the Christmas stuff that I've been kind of missing out on because I've just been so busy. I haven't really had time.
Now, will it be decorated when you go home, or where you?
I think my parents have a tree already, but they haven't decorated it yet. So we'll probably be decorating all together.
That's so fun.
I'm very excited.
It's interesting. A lot of people in LA are transplants. Most people from LA aren't actually from LA, so there can be kind of a culture of. I think LA tries to be Christmassy. You can put tinsel on a palm tree, but it doesn't really work.
It
I
doesn't.
agree.
And some of the decorations are so amazing. And walking through Beverly Hills at night, and you're just like, this is really pretty, but it doesn't feel the same.
Doesn't feel the same.
Because you can tell it's just someone paid people a bunch of money to do it for them, and it doesn't have that lovingly hand done kind of thing.
Yeah, the Grove always goes all out, but it just doesn't quite have
I
that.
agree. It doesn't have the same magic.
Yeah, that tree keeps getting bigger and bigger every year in the Grove, and still I'm like,
It's not cold enough.
Yeah.
The thing is, we're all from the north, so it's
Right.
until it's cold, it doesn't feel like Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to transition now. We're going to talk TV Christmas movies. You alluded to it earlier, Nick, but like you've kind of entered this tribe now of Christmas royals who have done TV. So you didn't really know that there's this insane culture of fans.
I had no idea. It wasn't until the first movie started playing and like my Instagram.
And this is Christmas with the Prince, in case you guys haven't seen it. It's a wonderful film.
Christmas with the Prince, Up TV, and it was after the first one that's kind of just like surge of just people started being like, oh my God, this was the most amazing movie. And it was set in a children's hospital, the first one, on a kids ward. So I had parents writing in being like, we watched it in hospital with our kids over Christmas because they couldn't leave Christmas. And I was not expecting stuff like that, reading messages, you know.
That's so nice.
So that was really heartwarming. And then with the second one, it's just kind of taken off even more. Yeah, it's I had no idea. I was so clueless, which was actually kind of nice. I had no expectation.
Yeah.
I was just,
nice surprise.
grateful for a job, and I was like, this is a fun job, play a prince, and
What do you feel like part of the appeal was like your Anglophilia, like your Britishness? Do you feel like that helped kind of with the audition and kind of getting you in the mode of like the royalty component of the movie?
Do you mean my being English?
Yeah.
Did it help? I mean, I think that they were definitely looking for a Brit, so that did help. And I did say in the audition, I think I'm like something like 207th in line to the throne, which I can't remember if I told them I was joking. I was totally joking. But I think that may have helped.
Americans don't know anything
I know.
about that.
Who
Like,
would
just
know?
like, okay,
There's not like a book they can look it up. Oh,
yeah.
actually, he's 205th. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that it did help. They really were searching. They said they searched from London all through Canada, LA, New York, and so they wanted someone that was authentically from there.
When are you guys shooting these?
Toronto.
And when?
In the heat of the summer.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
The heat of the summer.
Do you find it's hard to like method yourself into the role when you're like kind of in the summer in Canada and it's hot?
It's when you walk outside and it's really hot, and you just had. And the first movie I was in a wheelchair or on crutches for most of it, and I had my leg in a cast.
Ooh,
and
that's gonna
it
get
got
sweaty.
to the point where they were like, look, we only have a 10-minute break. Should we just keep the cast on?
Yeah.
I was like, sure, yeah, just keep it on. And by the end of the day, your leg is swollen and you have these sores, and
You actually need the crutches.
I pretty much just got, at one point I just said, can you just wheel me around in the chair? Because in between takes, it's like, wheel me to the bathroom, wheel me to the craft service. So I just basically got pushed everywhere.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they're quick shoots, right? Because they're really putting out a lot of these. How long for the first one?
About a month, I think it was, or 3.5 weeks a month.
That's
crazy.
not.
So
That's
I know
not a ton
some of them.
time for a movie though.
Yeah.
It's not a ton, but I know some of them they shoot in like 2 weeks or 2.5. They cram them in.
20 pages a day.
Yeah, it is a lot
Yeah.
of dialogue a day.
Yeah.
But they're an amazing crew up there. Like, it was all the same people for the second movie, so it was kind of like a reunion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's like
So
summer
good.
camp.
Yeah, it basically was.
Christmas-themed
It was
summer
like
camp.
Christmas summer camp in Toronto. Yeah.
Definitely. So you were teasing maybe a third movie. I feel like with these cycles, a lot of times there's the meet cute in the first one.
Yeah.
There's the engagement and marriage in the second
Yeah.
one. It's got to be a baby, right?
I mean, who knows? All I know is that that's a potential that might happen. Because like I said earlier, we found out that the movie was #1 on the network, but not just #1, it was like #1 since everything they've had on the network since January.
Wow.
And it had over 1 million people tuning in on premiere night, which was really high numbers. The highest numbers they've ever had.
That's high numbers. Nowadays,
Yeah.
it's such a diluted market.
Yeah.
Some network sitcoms would kill for 1 million.
Yeah.
it
for
was
sure.
it was crazy, baffling to me when they told me that, and
Yeah.
so they were like, we will be coming back for a third, and so we're a bit, I guess, working out what that's going to be, but
Okay.
I'm sure there's a baby involved.
Yeah.
Maybe
Or
a
twins
baby.
A baby for Christmas.
Yeah,
I haven't
on a
ever
boat.
seen a Caribbean.
Can we go back
I was
to the-
gonna say we were talking
Yeah,
before air.
Well, see, I
Christmas.
actually did pitch. So I actually came up with the story for the second one. I have a credit as a story consultant, I think they gave me in the second movie. So the third movie, I said, may I suggest going somewhere like the Caribbean for the honeymoon, because I would like to go somewhere else. Only for that
Not
reason.
Canada, yeah.
No, I mean, I love Canada and I love Toronto, but it would be fun to go somewhere on a tropical location.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, I get why they, as a producer, might want to do that too. We're going to interview you a little bit just as who you are, Nick. It would make sense because you're a fitness guy. If you guys haven't seen, Nick is in very, very good shape.
Sometimes.
You've done a lot of celebrity fitness training, right?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. Like, I've been training since I was 17. I started personal training in London, And actually, two of my first clients back in the day, it was crazy. I mean, I was such a kid, but were George Michael at the time and his partner. So there was a gym in London called the Bath and Rackets Club, and it's a very exclusive. It was gentlemen's only, mostly members of Parliament.
Interesting.
And you had to. And every time someone came in to work out, reception would give them a uniform. So everyone in the gym was wearing exactly the same cream polo shorts. Yeah, it was. Looking back on it, it seemed normal at the time because I went to boarding school. Now looking back on it, I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, but
I like it though.
I was going to say, when you're from the States, like anything that just, even when it's weird, has like this kind of anachronistic culture element.
Yeah.
It's kind of like romantic.
Yeah. I think it is. I agree.
There's just nothing really like that in the States.
Yeah.
So I like that stuff.
It's looking back on it now, it was a very interesting place, but they would, that's where I would train them. You know, you were there as a trainer. Anyone could walk in and sort of handpick you from the reception and be like, can we train tonight? Are you free? And it was very much like that. So I started training them and they were awesome. And then came over here and kind of started training a few other celebrities. Like I worked with like Gal Gadot, who was lovely, Claire Holt, who's Vampire Diaries and all of that genre. Julie Benz, who's been, she was on Buffy and then Dexter, and she's been working since forever. And I kind of just fell into training them, and a couple of other actors I get ready for movies, who I can't talk about. But yeah, it's been great. I have this sort of wonderful like dichotomy of a life where I can do acting and pursue that, but at the same time, when I'm unemployed from acting, I get to do my other job. So
it's great. And it's nice that you can still be entertainment adjacent. While you're kind of between gigs and everything.
Exactly.
So do you feel like you moved out here as a trainer and sort of fell into performing? Because some people kind of stumble onto camera, you know?
Yeah, no, actually, I stumbled into modeling when I was 17 years old. I was a heavy kid growing up, and I got really sick. I got E. coli salmonella. Wow. I like almost died in hospital. I lost a ton of weight. I mean, you could literally see ribs in my back. And then so my mum had to take me to buy a new school uniform in London. So we were shopping in London in Kings Road, and a model agency said to my mum, "Is this your son?" And I was really shy, like I barely spoke. And I was so bony, like my face was just bones, you know. And at the time, that kind of whole androgynous look was killer in London.
Yeah, it's true.
So they took us to the agency, they took some Polaroids, and we didn't really know what they were talking about, but it was Kate Moss's agency.
Wow.
And that's when I started modeling. And then before I knew it, in the holidays, I got shipped out to Paris. And I did like a Jean-Paul Gaultier fashion show at 17. I was terrified. I was the youngest in the show, I think, by like at least 5 years, but it felt like 20 years at the time. My knees were just like, I felt they were going to give out when I walked down the runway.
Wow, because you're still sick probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very weak. I was very frail, but it was a hot look at the time. So yeah, but it was amazing. So I started modeling, and then that kind of helped me build a lot of confidence that I didn't really have.
Interesting.
And then it went from there, and then I started booking jobs. As I got older, I filled out, and I booking jobs in America, like Abercrombie, Polo, that kind of stuff. And then I came to the States for a job for Bloomingdale's for a week. And that's when I got spotted by some managers, and they asked me to audition for Days of Our Lives, and I did. And it kind of snowballed from there, really. Yeah.
The Venn diagram of daytime actors and Christmas movie people's really broad.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was something when they saw you had done soaps, they were like, bring him in kind of thing, or?
No, actually, I actually hadn't done any soaps. So I screen tested for Days of Our Lives. And what happened was the guy that was supposed to be leaving, I looked like him. Again, this is something I didn't know happened.
Yeah.
So I looked like him. So they basically said, well, you look like him. Can you do an American accent? I was like, yeah, sure. Went in, auditioned for it. And then the day I was supposed to find out if I got it, they paid him more money and he came back.
Wow.
So they would have just changed me out for him, and I would have joined the Kyriakis family on Days of Our Life, which I believe is Jennifer Aniston's dad. So I would have been part of that family.
Yeah, he did soaps.
Yeah. So I never actually went into soaps. And so yeah, but I don't know. With the Christmas movie, I think it was just because I was English.
Yeah. No, I mean, that helps, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, Christmas movies in general, especially royal Christmas movies. We were talking, it's almost like you've entered your own cinematic universe.
Yeah.
There's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's like once you've done a Marvel movie, you kind of have this stamp of you've done it, you're in this world. Yeah. We're going to test the second Christmas with the Prince movie.
Okay.
See if it fits what we consider the mark of a royal Christmas film.
Okay, great. All right.
Erin, I'm going to let you take this one.
Okay. So we were doing some research, and there's something like 15 alone, just like royal Christmas themed movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I went through them and kind of read through what are the most common things that kind of happen in all these movies. So someone doesn't know someone else's royalty. Is that in yours?
Someone doesn't know someone else.
Is it like, because in
It's
a
a
lot
discovery.
of these, it is. In a lot of these movies, they pretend they're not royal, and then at the end,
No.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think so, because I think it's very well known from the very beginning that I'm put into this hospital because of who I am. So everyone knows who I am.
yeah,
Interesting, okay.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why you're in the children's ward, right?
In the children's ward.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, an arranged marriage. That's also a very common trope.
Yes, kind of. Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Great.
Okay. A seemingly pompous royal who secretly has a heart of gold, and at first the main couple, they don't really get along, but then it's revealed later on that they're nice.
Yes.
Yep.
You
Okay.
gotta
got that
soften the
one.
heart.
Exactly.
Great.
An ordinary girl being plucked from obscurity to marry someone royal.
Well, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Got that one.
Isn't that the theme of every single? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The main couple fall in love after like 3 dates. Happens very
Yeah,
fast.
I think it was maybe just one day.
It's
Yeah,
gotta be.
okay.
It's gotta be fast.
Exactly.
fast.
We only have one movie.
Yeah.
And it's got to be over Christmas.
Yes.
To get into the new year, it's fuzzy territory.
yes.
And then a European country that doesn't actually exist.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Zanzibar.
There we go.
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Zanzibar.
Yeah.
I
All
would,
right.
the
Wow.
thing is, though, is we all live for these
It's a lot of
movies.
points, but I think Christmas with the Prince is a little bit more unique than these other ones because of the hospital setting. It's kind of combining that, like, there's kids around, and it's a little bit different. So I like that better.
Yeah, it was based on it was based on a book, like I think it was a Harlequin romance novel. It was, and so I loved like that aspect of it because it wasn't like how the other movies had been
Yeah.
done. And then the second movie I loved because we really got to develop our characters, made them a bit more, have more sort of dimension to the character, if you will.
Yeah.
So the nice thing about when you franchise or sequel something, it does just give you more time with the character. What do you feel like you learned about your character, or maybe even performing in general, acting in general, on your second go at it?
The second time I was definitely, because you're with all the same people. I mean, literally, we had the same DP director.
That's great.
The whole same cast. So for me, there was just an element of walking into a place that was so relaxed, like you said, like summer camp, like a Christmas summer camp, and so you could just play. And I felt like a lot more comfortable to be like, I'm just gonna do this, and who cares? But normally I might be a bit more conservative, or I might think, oh, no, I'll try this, but I'll do it this way first, and then I'll.
You don't have to play it as safe the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, actors talk about if they could, they would want to spend months in rehearsal before they shoot. But really, your first go around with the film is almost like a rehearsal for the second one.
Yeah.
You come in all knowing each other, and it gives you...
It does. You already have like chemistry and then like camaraderie with everybody. And we did, I feel so fortunate because we all got on so well.
Yeah.
I mean, from Charles Shaughnessy, who was from The Nanny back in the day. He plays my dad. All the way through to Caitlin, who is the doctor that I basically marry in the end, who's amazing. Just a really, really cool bunch of people.
I love it.
I was doing some research, and Mr. Sheffield from The Nanny, who plays your dad, also plays the dad in another Christmas royalty movie. Yeah.
Wait, didn't he play Prince Charles
I
as
think
well
so,
on the Meghan and Harry
Oh, nice.
Lifetime?
He's found a good niche for himself as fake royalty.
Yeah, he really has. Yeah,
I love it. Well, we've actually had Meghan Markle in this very studio.
Really?
Because
I
we had
didn't know
a huge
that.
Suits following. She was an actress before
Yeah, that's right.
crazy.
becoming a royal.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Wow.
Well, I love it. We're so excited for the film. Congratulations. You can watch it on demand on UpTV, right?
UpTV on demand. And I also believe if you have Apple Plus and you search through there, somehow it's in there as well.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, make sure you guys check that out. Let's talk a little bit about other Christmas movies. Do you have any, like when you were growing up, Christmas movies that just meant the world to you specifically?
I mean, honestly, I don't. In England, I just don't think we had them. And I feel like I need to ask my English friends and family if we did.
Love Actually is a definite
is.
classic.
Love Actually was a major classic, and it's on every year.
Yeah.
I love it.
I don't think so. No, not over here.
Were you guys watching American Christmas movies across the pond?
No,
or?
I never saw one. I didn't even know they existed.
So interesting.
Wow, that
But
is
now they're
really-
playing them on Channel 5, but Channel 5, it wasn't around when I was a kid. Like, we literally had 3 stations. But Channel 5 now plays all these American, because that's where our movie just played, literally just on December 3rd, it premiered in England.
Okay.
So, yeah. No, just Love Actually. And then for some reason, I remember Home Alone being a Christmas movie.
That's my favorite.
That counts.
It does. Does that count? Okay, good.
Definite,
yeah,
I love that
definite
movie.
Christmas
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, Home Alone's a good
I love
one.
Home Alone. That is my favorite Christmas movie.
Home Alone is Chris Columbus, who directed the first 2 Harry Potter films as well.
Yeah. It's a good
So I
movie.
feel like he's
Yeah.
definitely made his mark on British culture
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Erin? What are some of your go-to films?
I mean, Love Actually and Home Alone, love them both. Obviously, Elf.
Yeah.
That's a super classic. Everyone loves Elf. What else? I love the Santa Claus movies. Those were what the big ones that I would watch when I was a kid because I think they're kind of more marketed towards like younger kids. What else? I don't know. I also do love like the Hallmark movies, but they all kind of they blend together a little bit. So I can't. I don't have any titles, but my sister and I do love to watch them. Just you can watch like 10 in a day, and they just go
Yeah.
by so fast.
That's
Yeah.
what I've learned. I've
Yeah,
learned
exactly,
that.
because
My
they play 'em on
roommate is from,
marathons.
she's from Indiana. So she said,
Do you know where from in Indiana? Probably Indianapolis.
It is Indiana, yeah.
My wife's from there as well. as a
Oh,
matter of
really?
fact. Yeah.
She is from that. She is from the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
I keep thinking for the longest time I kept introducing her. I was like, oh, she's from Idaho, and then she's like, that's not even close, right? And I was like,
okay.
oh, I'm so sorry. I thought Idaho was in.
I mean, that's okay.
Indiana.
People from America don't really know the different parts of England, so it's
Right.
like it's the same thing.
Which is why it's easier just to say
Yeah.
sometimes I'm from London. And
Yeah.
like, oh my god, no way. Do
Yeah.
you know? No.
Very large city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But no, she's Indiana, and she said these movies we watch them back to back.
Yeah.
We all get together. We watch them as a family. That's what I love about them because people get together all ages and watch them.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But it is funny, as you mentioned, like sometimes distinguishing them isn't always, what they're for.
Yeah.
I went to Christmas Con this year on behalf of the network where all the Hallmark people were. And you'd even ask the biggest Hallmark fans and say, what's your favorite? And they'd go, I kind of liked the one where, the big city girl moves back to her small town.
It's like that's 10 of them.
There's like, she meets her high school sweetheart. He like owns a bookstore, I
Yeah.
think. And you're
Well,
like, okay, so of the 20 that's about.
They're pumping them out. There's something like 100 new ones premiering just this year, so they're gonna overlap. People are gonna
That's
do
the
the
point,
same kind
though.
of one. Exactly.
The point is
that's
when
why
you
they're
go,
so comforting.
you go order chicken noodle soup at a restaurant, and
Yeah.
like they might be a little different each time you get chicken noodle soup.
But you
depending-
want chicken noodle
But
soup.
you want chicken
Yeah,
noodle soup. That's what you
exactly.
want. It's
Yeah.
comfort food. That's what these are
Exactly.
designed for.
Yeah.
So, Christmas Prince Christmas with the Prince in the best way definitely fills that. So if you guys haven't seen it, I know you already love your Christmas TV movies.
course.
Check it out. Nick's the man, and he deserves your
Thank
support.
you.
And the movie's great. So
Yeah.
that's definitely why you need to check it out. In terms of Christmas movies for me, I love Elf. I count Die Hard as a Christmas movie.
It's not,
It's a
but
good
okay.
movie.
Die Hard's incredible.
Yeah.
You don't count it as a Christmas movie.
Because it's not the spirit of a Christmas movie. I think a Christmas movie has to be a little bit heartwarming. I mean, and Die Hard, I guess, is kind
Die
of,
Hard's
but like,
totally hard.
Yeah,
like,
it's
I get what you're saying. It's a Christmas movie by technicality and
Yeah.
not by spirit, in my
Fair.
opinion.
Okay. So our producer Ryan in the booth is a cinephile, one of the biggest movie fans I know.
Yes.
Ryan, I need your opinion. Die Hard Christmas movie or no?
I think it's considered a Christmas movie. I don't think it's one of the best.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Just
think it's a great action movie. I don't think it's a great Christmas movie.
Yeah,
All
I
But
right.
I
agree
do
with that.
acknowledge it as a Christmas movie.
fair enough. What would some of your picks, Ryan, be?
Some of my picks, one every year is Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase.
yeah.
That is
Oh,
a
that is
Yeah.
guarantee one in my family. We always put it on, quote it. Just a lovely, lovely Christmas flick. Another one that this is more just personal to me. I love the Jim Carrey Grinch. I think that movie gets me in the Christmas spirit every year. There's something about seeing Whoville just all decked out, snow. Like the production design is so great. You just feel the energy of Christmas. And
point.
there's stuff about that movie that's very different from the animated film. The animated film is great on its own, but I just think this had its own unique energy, and it was just different enough. I really enjoy Ron Howard's Jim Carrey Grinch movie.
Yeah.
So those are a few. Another one that I know is bad, but I watch it all the time is Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's bad. I
Another
like it.
Tim Allen Christmas movie.
Yeah, he has the market cornered a little bit on like grumpy Christmas dad.
You're right.
And I mean, the whole story is their daughter isn't coming home for Christmas, so they're just not going to celebrate it this year. And the town flips out. And they're like, this is horrible. This is sacrilege. And then they find out the daughter is coming back and they have to put on Christmas. So it's really interesting.
I love it.
It's good.
Well, that's the point of a good Christmas movie is, do you love it?
Exactly.
I feel like more than any genre, it's your movie, right?
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's something about these kind of Christmas movies that makes them so popular is it feels like, it's just the feeling that it gives you. Like, and especially I think Christmas movies, you're not watching them, even if you're like a film person, you're not watching them and like critiquing them like that. You're just watching them because they're comforting and it's fun. And it's just, you can like shut your brain off and just have a good time with your family watching them.
I kind of feel that way about the Harry Potter movies, actually, because in every Harry Potter movie, you always go through the seasons. So there's always the Christmas scene, there's always snow, you know? Like, so like having that on sometimes in the background, like is actually, there's a weird comfort to it.
Yeah, definitely.
I totally agree. There's a film critic I like a lot who we're actually going to be featuring on our sister network Popcorn Talk named Alonzo Duralde. He's like the Christmas movie film critic. Like that's his thing. He's written a ton of books about Christmas movies. He says that Harry Potter 4 is definitively a Christmas movie. That's one with the Yule Ball, so they all dress up and you know, he says that is without a doubt a Christmas film. So
I would agree.
You're in good company there. So obviously you can watch Christmas with the Prince becoming royal right now. What else is going on with you though, Nick? What else can we be looking out for?
Just, you know, there's a few things coming up which I can't talk about, but I mean obviously the third movie hopefully I can sort of allude to.
Great.
But there's a few other things that are just in the works which are really exciting. So yeah, watch this space 2020. I don't know. It's kind of like the second movie I said has been such a shock in terms of, not a shock, it sounds terrible. I get it do well, but like
it's always a surprise.
It's a surprise. It was a nice surprise, and it's led to some things recently where I've been like, wow, like from the Christmas movie, and they were like, yeah, and so that's really cool. It's really exciting. So,
you know, with this business, every hit is a surprise, right? Even, you know, like Jordan Peele, who of course did Get Out and Us, he's like, making a movie is always incredibly hard, no matter what. It's always a huge challenge. And when it does well, in some ways, it's always a pleasant surprise just because everything's competitive. So even really good things don't always catch fire.
And you can have everything you're supposed to have. Like a good movie on paper is not always going to be a huge success. So you never know.
So very deserved to have this success, Nick.
Thank you
Super
so
excited to
much.
have you here. And if people want to follow you and keep up with everything you're doing.
You guys can, Instagram is the best way, at Nick Hounslow, super easy. You can follow me, comment, whatever you want. Twitter, I don't really tweet that much, but I am on there every now and then. And then Facebook, same, at Nick Hounslow. So come and check it out.
My only advice is if you're like me and December's a month where you eat a lot, maybe don't go to Nick's Instagram if you want to feel good about yourself. But
I'm not using current pictures for December. I'll just say as if I usually use ones from the summer in really good light. Yeah,
that's you can tell when people are timing their diets when summer's coming closer.
Exactly.
But that's what December's for. It's for Christmas cookies. It's for eating.
Yes.
And we probably will
Anyone who diets in December is weird.
Yeah, it's like, come on, give yourself 1 month. I think we will be doing a Christmas food show coming up because this is the 6 months of Christmas, guys. We're doing all Christmas all the time. We did sort of a just light Christmas movie show today, but we will be doing like an in-depth Christmas movie show. But we're only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, and actually something to mention, this is my last show, unfortunately.
It is, unless we have you call in.
Well, that's true.
Which I think we could.
Yeah, that's true. But this is my last show, and I just want to say thank you to all the Christmas 24/7 fans. I've loved being part of this show so much. I've loved this opportunity, and it's amazing. And hopefully I'll be back next year.
You'll be back in LA. Yeah,
exactly.
Erin, props to you as an intern who just skyrocketed here, and you've got to go graduate.
I snuck my way in. Yeah, I do. I got to go graduate, but hopefully I'll be back.
Go get your degree, and we'll bring you back on the show.
Wow, I feel so honored to be part of your last show.
I know.
It is. It's
so cool.
It's the best one I could have asked for.
Yes.
I have a prince on my last show.
Exactly.
I was going to say.
There you go.
What more can you ask for?
I love it. And we'll be back, though. We're going to try to squeeze as many shows as we can as we lead up to the big day.
And if Kevin has anything to say about it, you'll definitely be going far into the new year.
Oh, for sure. We're going to have a ton of shows in 2020. So
cover the Christmas hangover.
Yep. So thanks as always. This is the 6 months of Christmas.
Getting late.
Yeah.
I've got
Saddle
these
the
letters
sleigh.
to deliver. And you better be getting home too. And remember, behave yourselves.
Behave yourselves, guys.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that at Jeffrey C. Graham or Instagram at Jeffrey Crane Graham. Erin?
I am at Erin Kaswan on Instagram.
And once again, that's Nick Hounslow at Nick Hounslow. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you here next time on the 6 months of Christmas.
Thank you.
From Chief Elf Officers Keven Undergaro and Maria Menounos, Chief Spirit Officer Jeff Graham, and the entire The Christmas 24/7 channel, we would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV's The Christmas 24/7 channel. If you have questions or comments, email us at thechristmas247@gmail.com. Until next time, do your best to give, forgive, and be merry. Ho, 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 ho.